Here we go. Hello, everyone. It's another edition of Tailgate Talk. I'm your host, David, along with me as my co-host, Joey Mayo. Joey, say hi to the people.
Howdy.
We got no Nick tonight. He's got some holiday cheer that he's spreading with his friends, coworkers, whoever, somebody. Apparently, somebody else he's trying to impress instead of us tonight. But it's all right. I don't care. We're fine. But Joe, it's college football playoff started this week. It's already happening. We're recording here at 9:30 on Friday night, and Oklahoma and Alabama are in the thick of it. We got less than 2 minutes to go in the
A pick.
and we got a
Alabama
pick
pick
six. This
six.
game is about to be tied live for us, multiple hours after for y'all. But Alabama just got a pick six with a minute 18 to go, down 17. Now they're about to be tied 17-17 going into the half. This game has been entertaining, Joe. This has been a lot of fun. You want let's just talk about this for a minute, shall we?
Absolutely. I mean, I missed the first quarter because I was watching something else, but yeah, I mean, this is what it's all about, right? This is SEC football. I know we make fun of the SEC on this podcast, but this is
We
SEC
should.
football. And it's a chance for two teams to kind of finish out the year strong. So we'll see what happens here. I mean, Alabama did not look great the first quarter from what I saw through catch-up plays. Um, but we'll see what happens. You're talking about an Alabama team that's very talented that just didn't finish the year strong, but they haven't also gotten beat by the same team twice since like 1893 when they played somebody like Birmingham Athletic Club or something, which I found to be an interesting stat. So I actually chose Bama for our picks, but I'm curious to see what happens here because Bama looked dead and gone, and now they look like they're back in this thing, obviously, like you just said.
Mhm. Nick also had Bama going into this. I'm the only one who went with Oklahoma. Uh, I think Nick's exact response for that when I asked him for his thoughts were that he just doesn't trust Oklahoma's offense. That first quarter had me a lot of optimism. Oklahoma jumped out to 17 nothing, and it felt like they were pretty much in hand. But this is a game that is going to go. I think it's back and forth all night long, and strap in. We'll see how it ends. We'll obviously have this posted after the fact. Uh, but I mean, it's Alabama and Oklahoma. You've got blue bloods, historically relevant teams. This is what college football is.
Yeah, I mean, this is playoff time. Like there's no other way to put it. Like this is what we wait for all year, right? There's like the lead up of the entire season, and then we get to the playoffs. And even if your team isn't in it, if you love college football, this is as good as college football is gonna get. This is where everyone wants to play for the trophy, right? We talked about that last week, how important that is for teams that even if you don't play for it, you might not be playing a bowl game this week, because it's just not as important. But I'm excited to see what happens here. Mateer, just ever since he hurt his thumb, he hasn't been the same player. I know he's been
Yeah, but they're
kind of.
saying the wraps off this. He's not pain free, but he was like early in the game watching him was slinging it pretty quick, pretty fast. It looked good.
I saw that
I
one
think I
throw
think
that
that
he
this is
missed. I saw that one throw that the guy dropped. He didn't miss, but he like swung out of a sack and then he threw it like probably like what 35 yards downfield and it hit the receiver's hands. So yeah, you're right. He does look a lot better
I
tonight.
think they're better off tonight. I 100% think that Oklahoma's offense is looking better.
Yeah.
Um, and it's just, can they capitalize? Can they do what they need to do to take care of business here? Because from what I've seen, it hasn't so much been Oklahoma's offense has been um, a holdback tonight. It's more so that they're just, they got out to that early lead, and then Alabama's had some quick hits in this second quarter. So
Yeah, one being that interception, one being the blocked punt that they got there, or the guy where the guy slipped, and then they got the
that's
punt, and
huge.
then and they're right back in this game.
Oh yeah,
So
I mean the game's tied. But you got, I
football,
mean, that pick six. I was from the replay, it looked like 100% that was quarterback and receiver not on the same page because the receiver's running down the field and Mateer's trying to throw a comeback.
Football,
So we'll see what it goes on, but this is going to be an exciting game. But
yeah,
I'm
I
gonna
mean
rock with the
football.
Sooners.
Football is a game of momentum, right? So right now, Alabama has all the momentum. It's can Venables and the Sooners swing it back to their sideline? That's the question, you know. But we can get into some other games here as well.
Yep. Let's jump over to the Ole Miss Tulane game. We've got this is I'd almost call it a revenge tour for Ole Miss against poor Tulane, the Group of Five team that won their conference, and they get rewarded with a pissed off Ole Miss Rebels team that their coach just left in the middle of the night, not really, but left them high and dry, and now they've got something to prove. So Joe, what are your thoughts on that game?
Yeah, so I'm gonna kind of I know my pick is Ole Miss, but I'm gonna kind of play devil's advocate here, just for the sake of our podcast. And it's simple. Like you have a very experienced quarterback in Jake Retzlaff. You have a coach who's gonna go coach at Florida next year, which is a big time program. You won your conference. You're very good. This is a talented Tulane program that's been on the cusp of getting into the playoffs. I feel like the last like 2 or 3 years, and now you finally made it. Let's go see what you can do. And again, I know I took Old Miss, but you also have the factor of Lane Kiffin leaving. You got Old Miss saying if you get on that plane with Kiffin, you ain't coming back. You're not coaching here no more. And then they went back to Weiss and were like, can you actually come coach our offense? Because we don't know what we would do without you possibly is what happened. So I think that's an interesting thing. How do the players respond to Pete Golding? We don't know. We saw the and heard the reaction to their team meeting, which is great, but how do they respond on the field? This is a whole new program, and a lot of those guys, I'm sure, or have their minds occupied by either LSU or other schools and the transfer portal already because we're in that part of the calendar. So if they don't bring their A game, I do think that there is a chance for Tulane to make this a game. And I doubt that I doubt that Summerall, as a good head coach as he is going to allow them to get beat by 7 touchdowns again or 5 touchdowns, whatever it was the first time they played. He's going to go back. He's going to dissect that film. He's going to make sure that the guys are ready, and they're going to bring their A game to Ole Miss.
Yeah, I honestly I agree with you. I think that this game, I know Nick thinks that they're going to come out with a fire underneath them. He thinks Ole Miss is going to, you know, take care of business because they're pissed off about Lane Kiffin leaving. I feel like they might empty the tank this week. I think that there's a lot of emotion. We'll see how it rides. Like you said, this is a game of momentum, a game of emotion. These are 18-year-old kids. We wonder how they react if their girlfriend breaks up with them each week versus, their head coach leaving them. So who knows how they're going to react? But I feel like pay attention to the first 5 to 10 minutes of this game. I think that you're going to see a lot of high energy and a lot of emotion from Ole Miss. And if Tulane can weather that, if they can be within three to a touchdown in that first half of the quarter and getting into the second quarter, then I truly think that we may see a dogfight rather than what is expected as a Ole Miss trouncing Tulane. I I hope for more of that, but I do think at the end of the day that Ole Miss has just too much for them. I think that it's more likely they're going to empty everything out here, and then they're going to have nothing left in the tank when they play in the next round.
I know I said all of those things, those great things about Tulane. I'm obviously picking Ole Miss, and just kind of one last thought for me on the Ole Miss team and this game is I think they win because of Lacey in the backfield. I think that he is a big, physical, strong, fast back, and I don't know that Tulane's defense has seen somebody like him this year. Obviously, I haven't tuned into every Tulane game, but he's a big dude. He's a strong dude, and I know as much as their passing game gets all the love in Ole Miss, he's a phenomenal athlete, and I think he is the player of the game if Ole Miss does win this game. So I know we're just kind of going through stream of like thoughts here on this podcast when we go through every game. That is like my anytime touchdown scorer, my MVP for this game if they win.
Yeah, totally. I don't disagree with you. I think you're right. Again, I'm honestly excited to see how this whole uh what's the word I'm looking for? This whole playoff goes, this first round goes this year. Yeah, I think that it's going to be very interesting. There's a lot of matchups to chew on. The next one I want to talk about is another Group of Five team taking on a Power Four. We got Oregon and JMU, and I tell you what, JMU's social media team on their own is why I want to pick them. It's fantastic. What
Yeah,
they're
they won.
doing, they like
They won the week already.
if the media team is playing the game, then I'm picking JMU because they're just hitting on every single cylinder. I think that's what they need to do in order to beat Oregon. And I think this game might be the game of the week.
So I also find this fascinating because I think it was something on Instagram. It was like a screenshot of a tweet, and don't quote me on this, but they were like, "We're gonna have the streamers out in Eugene. The place is gonna be purple." Now, do I think it's actually gonna be purple? Probably not. But I would love to see them try and take over Oregon's home field. That is Oregon's home, but I would love for them to see if they could take it over, have as much purple there as possible. If you're JMU, buy the ticket. You don't know when you're going to be back. But just on that same note, I took Oregon, and I'm going to do the same thing I did with Ole Miss. I'm going to tell you why they might not have a good chance of winning, even though I'm picking Oregon. And I think that's because JMU is the best group of five team this year. They've been the most consistent, even though that this group of five slot has been a hot potato all year, where you get it and then you pass to me and then I pass it to Nick and then we pass it to somebody else. I think that this JMU team has been the most consistent all year long, and they almost beat Louisville earlier this year, and that was with a still recovering from an Achilles tear, Alonzo Barnett, and he's a stud. They have a very good running back. I think their coach is phenomenal. Bob Chesney has been talked about since he was at Holy Cross, right? We've been hearing about him since he was at Holy Cross. And everyone was like, this guy's going to get a big job. This guy's going to get a big job. After Signetti leaves, he takes that JMU job and he keeps the program on track. Yes, he did not create this, because I do put a lot of credit on Signetti for that, but he's kept that program on track for what Signetti had going. So I think that if they control the ball and they have a run game this weekend, I think it's going to be a bad day for Oregon, because I do think there is going to be a lot of purple there. But with that being said, I am taking Oregon.
This is the game to watch. I agree. I think again, in terms of picks, I'm picking Oregon. My heart is going for JMU. I would love to see that upset. I would not be upset with that upset at all. Um, but yeah, real quick
And
before we get into the last game, because I think this may be
real
the game that we talked the most about. Go
real
ahead.
quick, I just want to add one more thing. It's going to be super important, and I don't know if anything has been released just yet, or not. Maybe you would know, but it's going to be super important to see if DeCarrion Moore or Evan Stewart is playing for Oregon. That is a major game update, whether it be before the game, like right before the game, game time decision. That's crucial to how close this game may be, and if JMU has a shot. Because if one or both of those players are back and healthy, it's going to be a bad day, I feel like, for JMU. But because those are both explosive guys who were high major recruits, either in the transfer portal or coming out of high school. So I think that's going to be a major thing. And they've both been hurt. Evan Stewart has been hurt since the beginning of the season. And then you have the Corian Moore, who got hurt like midway through the year. So that's just my last like stream of consciousness for this JMU Oregon game.
Yeah. The notes I got from Nick were Oregon's quarterback, he thinks maybe in line to set himself up as the, consensus number one quarterback for next year. And he said go Ducks.
Yeah, I mean, like the rumor has it that he is allegedly staying next year. But obviously, like that was, I mean, that's not my take. That's something I heard from Todd McShay on his podcast, and he was saying how the family said that they were staying. Everyone said that they were staying allegedly. Now with Will Klein, is he still staying without Will Klein there? He who went to Kentucky, and if he has a great playoff, does he go make himself a lot of money and does he go, get drafted by the Browns because the Jets are taking Mendoza, We don't know. So that's going to be an interesting part of this as well. His individual success could fuel him into a first round draft pick or just declaring a year earlier than he might have wanted to originally, if all those rumors are true.
Yep. Before we jump into the last pick for the playoffs, I just want to touch base because uh there's so much going on. We got bowl season going on. We're doing Bowl Mania.
Oh yeah, how am I
As
doing that?
as we usually do. Currently, I just want to give an update. We are not doing so well as a group. The best out of us all is Mr. Joey Mayo over here at 3-4. Nick and I are both tied at 2-5. Um, and so, I mean, the fun part of this could all be that based off of this game right now, between Alabama and Oklahoma, we could have Joe at 4-4, me at 3-5, and Nick at 2-6. Or we could have Joe and Nick tied at 3-5 and me at 2-6, just straggling behind. Uh, we got to pick up our game here, Joey. This isn't looking good for the program. This has been for me a year of awful picks, and it's continuing into the postseason. So I'm sorry if I'm dragging you guys down, but we got to improve.
I took South Carolina, won that game just as a little break here in the programming. Got Boise State wrong. That was a bad pick. Took Jacksonville State. They beat Troy. And then it looks like I got South Florida wrong. Old Dominion's quarterback, who is concussed, came and won the MVP of that game. And then we lost to Raging Cajuns, and now the Myrtle Beach Bowl, Kennesaw. We picked we picked Kennesaw, and it was Western Michigan. I got Alabama here.
The best bet is to pick against us right now. I mean, I picked.
Yeah, I'm ice cold.
Uh, yeah, it's just been great.
I
But
gotta I
with
gotta look
that,
through my picks tonight. Yeah, sorry, that was a quick break. You got me distracted.
yeah, I pick them once and I let it happen, and it's Bull Mania. You just wait to see what happens. It's like March Madness. No one knows until it actually happens. The only ones that may adjust will be whoever wins the playoff games based off of that. But with that, we've got one more playoff game to talk about. I think this is probably the game that Joe, you're the most excited for. We got Texas A&M and Miami. Uh, Nick's initial thoughts was he thinks that his pick, he's picking A&M. He thinks this is going to be the dumpster fire chaos that he's rooting for with the committee's pick. He wants to see A&M trounce Miami, and then he picked Alabama to beat Oklahoma to say like, hey, this is what this could be really fun for the committee to then have to look at and be held accountable or explain keeping Notre Dame out. So, Joe, love to hear your thoughts on this game and who you pick.
So I think this game is actually like a 50-50 split for me. Both these defenses can play incredibly well. Both of them can play not as great. I don't believe in really either of these offenses. I think they're a little bit of fool's gold. And I think that they look better than they actually are. I'm curious to see how the quarterbacks play this week because I think that it comes down to defense. And I think whatever defense plays better and gets pressure on the other team's quarterback. And I know that's a simple thing to say, but for this game especially, I think whoever floods that pocket and makes the other quarterback uncomfortable is going to win this game. And with this being a pick 'em, I have to go with the place that is going to have 115,000 crazy, nutty fans that have been waiting for this since like 1940 in the stands. And I know it's 12 noon, but that place is going to be packed. I know people that have been to College Station, Texas. They take their Aggie football incredibly seriously. It's the only place in America without an orange Home Depot because it's Texas orange, and they said, mm-mm, you open a Home Depot in Aggie land, you have to. It's going to be maroon. So I know that place is going to be packed. I know that place is going to be full, and with it being a pick 'em, I'm going with A&M here. I think they get the win against Miami.
I agree with you. It's going to be a great game. My A&M has given a couple of instances to give me pause on them. They got down big to South Carolina before they came back. They didn't look great against Texas, and
But
I
that
have been high
Texas
on
one,
Texas
not
all
to
year.
interrupt you, not to interrupt you, just food for thought, right? For the people that are watching or listening. That Texas one, yeah, it was shaky and it didn't look great. And I'm not here to make excuses for the guy, but he did get hurt in that game and came back. And also, you were in Austin, Texas for the Red or for the not the Red River rivalry. That's Oklahoma and Texas, but for whatever that rivalry is called, I kind of tossed that performance to the side a little bit. I totally agree with you on the South Carolina one, but that Texas one is kind of an outlier to me.
For me, I look at it, well, once you add in the South Carolina game, it becomes less of an outlier. And so for me, I have questions, and when I look at that, I think I'm gonna lean on Miami looking to prove something. Um, because you hear all the chatter about like them them moving up over Notre Dame and all that, and then and you see the cracks that you might see with A&M, and now you're like, okay, this is how we can maybe attack them. I It's a 50-50. It's a toss up, and for me, this is an opportunity for me to maybe make some headway against you guys. So that's a big plus there. But this is a game that this is a game that's must watch. I think this first round of playoff games has a potential, especially if the group of five teams are able to stay in it, to be the best weekend of college football that we've had from a postseason standpoint in a while. So
My only
I'm
thing, and
rooting for great games at the end of the day.
I'm gonna go look at it right now. My only thing is Miami has played road games this year, and I don't think they were all that great in them. I think that's where some of their slip ups have come. Uh, no, they were at home against Louisville. And then okay, so they lost at SMU. All right, so they have two losses. One is at home and one's at SMU. I don't just I find it very hard to believe that, and I think we're all on the same page with this. This is a toss up, but I find it very hard to believe that Miami's going to be able to just walk into Texas A&M and Kyle Field with the 12th man there, and I think you're going to have a giant problem because they
This
are
is going to be
crazy
a
down
game
there.
late into the fourth quarter that I think is going to be
Like that stadium pulse is
punching
going to
butt
be
cheeks on
breaking
who's
the
going to win this
TV.
game.
Yeah, that stadium pulse is going to be breaking that bar on the college football corner of the TV up here.
The fact
So,
that this game is the noon game is criminal.
oh, absolutely. That was bad planning on ESPN's part, but listen, they they know what they're doing.
They know how to put the money where it needs to be.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. But I'm fascinated by this game. I think this is the game of the week. Even though it's at 12 noon, I think that this is the game that kind of sets of who can go and maybe because this is you either have to play Georgia or Ohio State if you win this game, right? Correct?
Yeah,
That's how the
who is
bracket
it? I'll
looks.
check.
That they're
I
I
I don't.
believe that they're on Georgia and Ohio State's side of the bracket. So this is This is a big one because you got to get that confidence in before you go play one of those teams. If I'm correct on that.
Ohio State.
Yeah, Ohio State. Okay, so you got to go play
But
an
then it
Ohio
would be
State team.
if they beat that, if they beat Ohio State, then it's the winner of Georgia versus Ole Miss or Tulane.
Yeah, I don't know. That's a tough side of the bracket. So you're going to need the confidence to go up and go accomplish some things. I think this is a good start for either team.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to reiterate. I think the top four seeds this year are the best teams.
Oh, absolutely.
Um, so, uh, well, this round may be very entertaining. I think all my money's on the other four teams to hold serve and us to have a 1, 2, 3, 4 semifinal.
I also saw a stat that last year all of the favorites won the first round. So I am curious to see, and I know right now Oklahoma and Alabama are tied. I'm curious to see if that stays the same. Do all of the first round favorites, the home teams, win that game? I find that as a fascinating little number there to keep our eyes on this weekend.
Yeah, I have no idea. I forget who was the favorite for Alabama, Oklahoma, but we'll see. It's so far.
Well,
I mean,
Oklahoma meaning the home team, like the higher seed won last year. So I'm curious to see if Oklahoma can pull this off and if they can keep that streak going. Because I think right now we're at 4-0, obviously. And then this would be another four games. Do we go 8-0 or do we go 7-1? What's the little thing in the corner that we're looking for here? Just to keep your eyes peeled, or at the bottom of the screen, I should say.
Joe, any last thoughts on this weekend, college football bowls or anything in general before we close it out tonight?
This is it. This is what we've been waiting for all year. This is why we do it. This is why we're here weekly in and out. This is what we love, right? This is high competition. It's for the love of the school, for the love of the game, for the individual success and the awards. I think that you're going to see a lot of great football this weekend and into the rest of the college football playoffs. And I think we should just enjoy it because before you know it, the season's going to be over, and then we're going to be doing next season. So
Can't agree more. Let's enjoy it while it lasts. I'm hoping for every game to be close, going down to the wire, as it should. So, with that, go Tigers, go beat Penn State in the Pinstripe Bowl, and
go
let
Irish.
just
We're off
enjoy
this
college
week.
football.
Enjoy your rest. You earned it.